Good morning, everybody. It's me, Mitch, and welcome to Morning Coffee with Mitch. Good to see you. Wow, busy chat this morning. A harbinger of things to come, most likely. So let's get on with it. As usual, drink it if you got it. There may be no caffeine in this, but it's still very satisfying. So sometimes I wonder if the act of drinking coffee isn't more of a habit than an addiction, or maybe a combination of both. But it's still satisfying. I haven't had caffeine in quite a while, and I'm doing fine. But I still don't want to give up the coffee. Sorry. I know it's from plants. That's great. And the coffee seems to be continue to be an area of controversy in our community. I watched Kelsey this morning. I guess I'm kind of getting in the habit. Instead of the morning news when I get up, which always aggravates me, I found that watching Kiltz and Nelson and their guest is more calming and certainly more informative. I guess they're all about ready to head up to Boston for their big meetup up there with Curry. I watched the replay of Curry's live stream last night as well. I feel that above all, and not discounting all of you that had channels like Thomas and Aaron Booby Goats, but of the larger channels, the two that are most closely aligned with my thinking and are really, I consider personal friends of mine as well, are Kelsey and Curry. So I've pretty much given up watching live streams from anybody else, including all the big guys. And I don't want to spend my entire life watching live streams or replays, but I found that those two I find interesting, and I almost feel like, I don't know if I have a stake in it, but personally, I feel more a part of that community, which include all of you. And I think many of you feel the same, because when I go to any of Curry's streams, or Kiltz's, just about every single one of the Misfits is proudly represented there too. So we have a large and growing community across all these channels, and it's great. It's great. Once again, you've probably heard of it before, but we have a meetup coming up this coming Wednesday here in Melbourne at the Estampa Gaucha Steakhouse, Brazilian Steakhouse in the Melbourne Square Mall. We don't have a huge attendance yet, but it is growing, and everybody's really talking about it. Peter's been promoting it everywhere he goes, and it's going to be great. And Nelson and Kiltz, and of course me, I'll be there, and Peter's going to be there. Jerry Boytush from Ponte Vedra Beach, and Dom, that fellow who was on Kiltzy yesterday. He's going to be here. He lives in Melbourne. Who knew? Who knew? There's probably a lot of carnivores that live close to me, and probably you too. Would we ever find these people? We don't wear. If you wear a carnivore T-shirt, one of them may come up to you, and somebody with guts anyway, out there in the wild, and say, "Hi, are you a carnivore?" You know, and you're wearing a carnivore T-shirt. So we will grow. Not going to be fast, but it is growing, and that's good. I'd love to see the message get out there in a way that more people got it. The only downside to that is that from the buying meat standpoint, it might become more scarce, might become more expensive. Hopefully, if business always does what business does, they'll identify the demand and ramp up production to meet the demand. There may be a lag or a delay in that, but that eventually will happen because that's business and money. And that is basically what dictates everything. Everything. The big food companies never started to make low-fat foods. That was absurd. Whoever thought of such a thing? But when that health information came out, low-fat was the trend of the day, they jumped on it. And it was not just trendy, but it was more profitable for them. It's much cheaper to make low-fat foods or foods that use seed oils than foods that use animal fats, like tallow, lard. Much cheaper. And as an added way to stick it to us, they can actually charge more because they can claim it's the healthy alternative. And of course, it might cost a little more, but aren't you concerned about your health? So companies like Nabisco came along. We all remember this. The minute the low-fat thing kind of caught on, we had Snackwell cookies, skim milk. Everything had 2 words on it, low fat, and another 2 words, hard healthy. We were snowballed. We were screwed. It's going to be tough to get these food manufacturers to give up the high profit manufactured foods that they do and go back to using real butter, real animal fats. But if there's no demand for low-fat foods, they're going to have to. Problem is, we're nowhere near that stage yet where the American public thinks low-fat was a hoax and unhealthy. And in that respect, we do have a long way to go. So we keep chipping away at it one at a time, one at a time. Like I said, I watched Kilts this morning. He had Adrian Gledhill on there. And we did a live stream together, a while ago, year and a half ago. I met her in Orlando at the Keto Orlando Summit, which has been renamed to something else, and I have no interest in going. I know Kilts is going to be there, but considering the stroke and all and the enormous amount of walking you have to do at that event, I can't go. I can't. I would go if I didn't have to deal with this. I would go just to be there with Kiltsy and Nelson, but there's no way I could do that without having some kind of a mobility scooter, and I'm not about to buy a mobility scooter because this is not a permanent thing for me. This is temporary and getting less temporary every day and getting better every day, doing more and more walking. But watched Kiltsy this morning, and Adrian was on there, and it was a very interesting stream. If you haven't seen it, there's a lot of information. She has quite a history from The Biggest Loser on down. the discussion turned to microdosing GLP-1 agonists. And Kelsey said that he also prescribes them in some special and rare circumstances. But microdosing is nowhere near the doses that they're shooting into people and the ones that they advertise, the Wegovy, the Ozempic, and it could be. Adrian is a proponent of that now, and there was not a mention when I interviewed her, or she interviewed me. I don't remember which way it went. I think I interviewed her, but there was no mention of those. So this is, in the last year and a half, this has really come on, and it's become a very controversial subject, and we've all got our hard opinions about it now. It's either the plague that's going to kill us all, or the wonder drug that's going to save us all, and there aren't too many people with an opinion anywhere in between, and it's much more nuanced than that. GLP-1 is a normal peptide that we have in our body. It is produced, and mostly in response to eating healthy red meat, protein. It slows the digestion down a little bit, and that was its original purpose. When you ate extremely nutritious foods, it did benefit the human body to rush them through the digestive tract. There were so many nutrients to be absorbed that it just took that much longer to absorb them. So what the GLP does, it basically says to the digestive tract, slow down. Give me a chance to get all the goodness out of this stuff you just ate. Don't worry. I won't overdo it. I won't paralyze your digestive tract. But by slowing down digestion, it has some added benefits. Number one, you feel fuller longer. And since these foods trigger the leptin, the satiety hormone, your appetite goes away. So this explains why eating meat, you get an entirely different reaction to it than when you eat carbs. When you eat meat, meat triggers and protein triggers the release of the GLP-1. So you are basically, in all essence, microdosing yourself naturally. This is nothing new. This is how they came up with these weight loss drugs. They discovered this peptide, this glucagon-like peptide, GLP. And they said, well, if the body does this with it naturally, just imagine if a little is good, more has got to be better. And they invented these GLP-1 drugs to mimic the body's normal reaction. So those of us that are on carnivore and have lost the weight and are happy with the way things are going have no need to be adding it. We're making our own. Like sugar. We don't need to add sugar in our diet. We know that whatever glucose requirements our body has, the body will simply manufacture it. We're like a car dealer that owns every one of his suppliers of all the small parts. Everything is in-house, and it works just great in most people. Now, like any complicated system, the human body, one little thing that ain't functioning properly can actually screw up the whole works. Any of you guys that have a new car, with all the computerized, Rick, you don't have to listen to this. It doesn't apply to any car you have. But they all have fabulous programming. Everything is electronic, sensors everywhere. And the normal old run-of-the-mill mechanic can't even begin to fix them when they break. You need expensive diagnostic equipment. You need to take them in the shop. There are hundreds of different inputs that are all used to determine exactly how the engine runs. And the interesting thing is that in this respect, they're a lot like the human body. We have thousands of things going on at the same time. In your car, let's say, and this is a common one, they have a sensor called the O2, oxygen sensor. Well, if that starts to malfunction, the whole thing crashes. The car will not run. There's nothing wrong with the car except one tiny little sensor. And there are people, and I think Adrian's one of them, that have a little quirk in one of their regulatory systems, and it causes them to blow up like balloons and gain much more weight, and has been the greatest challenge to discover why these people get put on weight so fast when they're all think they're trying and actually doing the right thing. And I felt sorry for her. And they still don't know why. Kiltz did what I admire most about him, and it's what I do. He was theorizing about what the possible cause could be, and going back, way back in evolutionary development. And he thinks the way I think, and that may be why we have such a connection that we do. At any rate, it was a great show and very interesting, and she has a great story. So if you haven't seen it, and I think most of you probably have, watch the replay. And I know that all of you are listening intently to me and concentrating and contemplating every word that comes out of my mouth. I can tell that by looking at the chat. Rick says, am I the only person who hates all chips? Bacon Baby says, I hate chips. Bacon Baby says, I love ducks, though. Charger Mopar says, good. I bet you prefer bacon. Michael Pregel says, I love chips. I just don't eat the shit. Lisa says, I used to love chips and dip. Rick, not part of my lifestyle now. Terry Sue says, I was listening to Dr. Kiltz. Adrian spoke well, but I fell asleep. Charger Mopar. Ducks are awesome. Hey, somebody finally picked up on what I was saying. Marcy Me, I saw you there. Marcy Me said GLP-1 was on the video thumbnail. It took quite a while to get to that discussion. Yeah, but that's a very important discussion. This very important discussion. So it's good to see you guys for paying attention. No, I kid. Okay, speaking of you guys, that's enough of me. I don't have many things on my list to do today, except maybe throw my coffee link up there. I know it works because a few of you actually used it yesterday. No pressure, but there it is. Got to say it. My father used to say to me many times, and I've told you this before, you don't ask, you don't get. So, well, I don't think you're sitting around watching me and agonizing and worrying and saying things like, if only I knew how to show Mitch how much I appreciate him, I would do it. But I don't know how to do it. Well, yeah, and in another alternate reality, first in last night, I'm having a good time today. I had a Sam's Club delivery this morning. Just a small one, a box of decaf coffee and some butter. Irish farm-raised butter, Curry Gold to be exact. And that was it. So it's supposed to come at 7 o'clock. And 7:30 got here. I didn't get I usually send you a text that your stuff is out for delivery, and I didn't get that. At 8 o'clock came along. Still no text that my stuff was out for delivery. Usually takes 20 minutes. They usually do it, like they always do it, between 7 and 7:30, but here it was 8 o'clock, no delivery. They guarantee you it'll be there before 9. My live stream starts at 8:30, so I'm busy trying to figure out how I'm smoothly going to have to accept that delivery while I'm live streaming. And I figure if it's normal, and it always happens to me at exactly the wrong time, the minute I say, good morning, the thing would go off, my doorbell would ring, and the guys would be standing out there. Fortunately, it came about 8:05, I got the notice, but usually it takes 20 or 25 minutes after that, but they were almost here already when I finally got the notice. There had two guys in the car, Hispanic people. Neither one of them spoke a word of English. They came up to my door. They didn't even ring the doorbell. They were supposed to wait for me, but they left the stuff on the front porch. And because I knew that they had sent me the email, I went and went into the app and followed their progress, and it said they were here already. So I went out there, and they were getting in their car just as I left the stuff, just as I found the stuff on my front doorstep. Well, that was great. I got it, and I still had plenty of time for this, to get ready for this live stream. Didn't have to rush. So I yelled at the guy. I said, thank you. And then I said, didn't you ring my doorbell? I've got one of these ringing doorbells. He didn't even understand what I was talking about. He just smiled. Thank you, and he waved, and that was the extent of it. And that's not the first time they've sent a delivery person that speaks absolutely no English. Not that I have anything against that, but sometimes I have to communicate with these people. Like, could you carry it inside for me? They didn't understand what that meant. At any rate, Girl Grandma, Wendy, first one in this morning. Good to see you. Wendy's going to be my guest on Sunday. Tune in Sunday morning. It'll be the next live stream. Taking tomorrow morning off. It's all yours, Rick. It's all yours. Smoothie was second. This was last night. Terry Sue, hey, Mitch. See you in the AM. And how did I get to the bottom? Oh, I know how I did that. I'm learning how I make these mistakes. Wow, look at all this chat. Have I been babbling that long? Wow. How many people? We got 94. It's about normal. Man, get me to the top of this thing already. Oh, wow. There it is. Okay. Terry Sue, good morning. Well, this was yesterday at 10 o'clock in the evening. Terry Sue again. Don Chager checked in. 11:30 p.m. Rick checked in. Lady June at 1 o'clock in the morning, but over there in the United Kingdom, Jem was back 1:19. Here come the, oh no, Jem is on the West Coast, so that 10 p.m. Yeah. Graceful Lily's here. How you doing? Good morning or good evening to you. 1:44 a.m. Empires Adventures. Good morning, Mitch, and good morning, everybody. Good morning to you. Very unique name you have there. Welcome. 4:42 a.m. Mike Silly. Wow. I managed to stay in bed till about 5:45 today. Peter was here. This morning. It was at, what time was it? 5:32. And here we go. Wayne Herman chimed in. Rick again. Lady June. Mike Silly Sr. Thomas was here. Target prime rib. 723. And away we go. And Rick was prolific this morning, which earned him the #1 spot for the day. Gracefully, I was just outside barefoot in the grass, clover patch again. Didn't realize 2 hours had passed. It seemed like 30 minutes to me. Yeah, it's great. Bacon Baby's here. How you doing? And then Rick and Bacon Baby went on for what seems like a week here talking about something happening in the chats. Sandy Blythe checked in. Good morning, everybody. And Bacon Baby and Rick and here we go. 819 Gary, no slow. Has anyone heard from Rick on here today? Haven't seen a quack from him. Where you been? Where have you been? Yeah, you should be laughing, Rick. Oh, evidently, Rick went on to some live stream, and he kept typing things in the chat. This is what I got, the gist of it. And he kept typing and typing, and his chats showed up, and yet nobody else could see them. Nobody could see them, Rick. If that happens to you, and you keep typing and screaming, and nobody's listening, the host of that stream has hidden you, because that's what happens. You still continue to see your own posts. You have no idea that nobody else is seeing your posts other than you. And I don't know whose stream it was, but if your entries don't seem to work in that guy's chat or that person's chat, you might want to send them an email or contact them if you can, or tell somebody that you know can have their chats read, and ask them, why did you hide Rick from your chat? And Rick says, oh no, I have been homestead housed. It's probably, I'm sure you knew that, Rick, but that's probably what happened. I'm watching this discourse going on. It is long. And anyway, let's get back to it. Poor Rick was so upset last night. I don't know what it was all about, but I'm trying to find somebody I haven't said hi to in between all of this discourse between you. But the final result, Rick, the final result is that you, my friend, are number one in our hearts on this chat this morning. You can see that purple crown, number one, next to Rick's name. We love you. Who else? We're trying to get to 8:30 here. I'm dying to push these buttons. Let's see. Okay, Michael Pregler, 8:29. Aaron is here. Good morning, Aaron. Booby Goats. Rick is back at 8:29. And we have Kathy at 8:29. Hi, Mitch and friends. Michael Pregler again. Gary. Oh, God. Don't you get... There. Oops. Wrong button. Gary, don't you get tired of winning? Congratulations, man. Even though I'm inept on the buttons today, hit the music buttons instead of the sound effect buttons. I did it with my right hand. I will blame my right hand for the lack of coordination, because it still takes, I have to actually watch. I tried to do it without watching it, and voila. Wrong button. Got an email here, and I always like to check these things. Buy me a coffee. Oh, my dad was right. It's Jeff Johnson. Call me 3 coffees. Hi, Mitch, Jeff Johnson, the name you know. Ben Acadia writes that gut bacteria ferments fiber, which support gut health. Can we have gut health without fiber? What's your opinion? Thanks. Interesting question. Obviously, we can. And we don't need anybody to even tell us why. We have thousands of cases of anecdotal evidence, and me being one of them. My gut was screwed up my entire life until I stopped eating fiber. Completely. Zero fiber. And voila, magically. As if it was supposed to be that way. As if maybe we were not supposed to eat the volume of plants that we've been eating. My gut has transformed itself to perfectly normal. Everything about it. I got diverticulosis from being plugged up all my life, having to take laxatives, having terrible discomfort and bloating. And the medical community's answer was, you're not taking enough Metamucil, you're not having enough fiber. Increase it. I increased it. It got worse. Talk to Lee Copus at Ken Carnivore if you want to know what all that stuff does to your gut. So, yeah, we need zero fiber and zero dietary sugar, and we live just fine. We live just fine. Which kind of is what started me on my philosophy towards saying whatever the medical community tells you to do, you'll be doing yourself a favor by just doing exactly the opposite. Now, in some cases, they're right because they do have some effective treatments for a lot of things. But they leave out nutrition from every decision they make. And that's a mistake because nutrition is the most important thing. Hands down. More important than anything else we do. We have to consider the foods that we eat like drugs because they affect everything. And we have enough proof now. This isn't just some harebrained theory. We have hundreds of thousands of people who've cured diabetes, put it in remission, cured. Oh God, we all know the list of things. Listen to Curry, listen to me, that we used to have, debilitating things like rheumatoid arthritis, terrible pain. How all that has gone away. We're not lying. We are not lying. So, thank you for the coffees, Jeff. It's a great question. And no, you don't need fiber. It might take a week or two for your gut to readjust because the balance of bacteria in your gut, the microbiome, has to reorganize itself so that the species that are no longer needed, those same species of bacteria that are in the guts of ruminant animals that take this fiber from all of the grass and plants and things they eat and eat it and excrete fatty acids instead, we don't need that because we eat the fatty acids. So we don't need that bacteria, and that bacteria will revolt when you first stop feeding it all that sugar. Those are the fermenting bacteria. And when there's not enough food for them anymore, their population will become minimal and diminish. And the gut biome will balance itself out based on what food is available for what bacteria. It makes sense. And eventually, your microbiome will be wildly different from that of a vegan. The doctors will not admit that. Nobody does. Everybody talks about you gotta take these probiotics, prebiotics, postbiotics. They're trying to sell you something. The truth is, just eat the right food. Let your physiology do its thing and take care of itself. And don't fool with it. Don't try to outsmart it. There are some hacks, they call them hacks, that work. Most of those hacks cause more harm than good. Most of our interference in the physiology of our own bodies only gets in the way and screws things up. You got to have a really good reason. Even the medical community doesn't know what some of those reasons are. How are we supposed to know? That's why, if it comes down to it and you don't know what to do, always default to the natural side and trust your own programming over the theories of some of these wacko people that are trying to sell you all this magic stuff. And the proof that they're not doing such a hot job is that what's happening to the health of everybody in this country. Gone to hell in a handbasket. I don't need any more proof than that. There may be some of us that are exceptions, but like Adrienne, she may have an exception. She may have a little something genetically wrong with her. But she's gone through everything, including gastric surgery. It's incredible. It's painful to listen to what she's gone through. still trying to be sure that what she's doing is the right thing and she's not doing more harm than good. It's too complicated for us to figure out. It took billions of years of life for this to actually happen. With God knows how many tests, iterations, where nature said, is this working? No. Okay. End of the line for this particular species. That's how it works. The biggest problem, I think, and this is controversial, is that humans became, quote, religious 10,000 years ago at the earliest. That's like 1 second before midnight. If the entire time of our evolution was reduced to a period of 1 year. December 31st, 1 second before midnight, man becomes religious. This religious stuff has colored our thinking about reality, about how we got here. We have one pat answer. God created us. Well, so many of you believe that who am I to question your belief? I could be wrong. Who am I to say the earth is older than 10,000 years? We're all talking about getting healthy and nutrition, and yet we're coming at it from two different angles. And if you're religious, that's your belief. And if it's your belief, I honor that. I have many of my beliefs that may be wrong, and you may think I'm a fool, but I've lived my life, and I've come to my conclusions, and I've gathered my evidence. I'm willing to change it on a minute's notice if it's proven wrong, but it's not. But when you get in, when they tell you two things not to discuss, religion and politics, you're going to alienate half the people. And I don't want to alienate you guys. If you're religious and that's what you believe, you're entitled to that. Far be it for me to want to change your mind. But if I want to approach this from what I think is reality, I have to look at the evolution of life from the first living, accidentally formed living cell that existed over 3 billion, would it be, years ago. And everything that we are has come from that one living cell through a chain of almost infinite, not infinite, but almost infinite number of trial and error tests to see what works and what doesn't. The changes happen accidentally. That's called mutation. And it's thrown out into the world to see what can survive and what can't. Those that can't survive, that's the end of their family line. That their particular programming is not reproduced anymore. And you, my friend, and I, and this is how I think of things, and it's my perspective, and it's where I come from. But you and I have an unbroken chain of successful mutations that date back 3 billion years to that first living cell. We are related. Every one of us. You go back far enough in every one of our lives, you will find what they call the last common ancestor. This is a very, very accepted scientific thing. And with the advent of our understanding of genetics and ability to read the code of a gene, we can see this not only in the archaeological record from the shape of bones and everything that we dig up, but from the actual code that created and guided the building of each of our ancestors. So the first common ancestor of all living things on the planet was a single-celled organism that lived over 3 billion years ago. And that's how our programming that dictates how our bodies work accidentally happened over that length of time by one test after another, and that is evolution. If you don't believe that, don't believe it. Don't tell me I'm fool and I'm wrong. I hate to do this. I mean, I don't want to offend people. I'm not telling anybody you shouldn't believe what you believe. If you have your reasons, be faithful to it. I don't want to change your mind. I don't want people to try to change my mind, but I don't want to change your mind. That's terrible. But I'm going to read something to you. And I get at least one comment like this a day, maybe two, sometimes maybe 10, depending on what I talk about. I won't tell you who it's from. I got this comment 4 hours ago. Okay? 4 hours ago. And it says, I've done keto carnivore and now doing sugar fasting, high carb, low fat. If you believe in God, you know He makes fruits, vegetables, meat, and sugar. I believe all food made by God is good for us to eat and that we should give God thanks with each meal. I wouldn't judge unless you tried it and proved it is harmful for people. My answer to him was, I wish you the best of luck with that. I don't want to offend these people. I don't want to call them stupid. They're not stupid. Some of these people are brilliant. But their core beliefs and their ideology was formed over a lifetime of information that they've heard and made sense to them. We all come from different paths. But if that's the way you are, just don't write me a comment about it. You're not going to change my mind. Just like I don't go into all the religious influencers and try to tell them they're wrong. I don't care what they think. I honestly don't care. So I didn't want to stray off into this, but the answers to virtually everything, in my opinion, and it's my opinion, the answers to everything, the reason for everything, the reason for every action, every reaction, all of our behavior, everything we do that we don't understand. There's a reason. Things just don't happen for no reason. There is a reason, and the answer and those reasons exist somewhere in our ancestral biological past from that first one living cell. Luca, they named it, L-U-C-A. Luca. Look it up. It's fascinating stuff. It's the stuff that I've been studying for 50 years. It's the stuff that motivated me to write my book 23 years ago. It's the concept and that way of thinking, which I heard Kiltz just expounding on that this morning. Same thing. Luca, last universal common ancestor. That's the reality world that I live in. You may find your reality elsewhere. You're entitled. You're entitled. Far be it from me to want to change your mind. But the explanations that we discovered in the last 100 years, scientifically, account for all, or most, because nobody knows everything, but account for, and a realistic explanation of why. Why are we addicts? Why does fiber hurt us? Why is meat the right diet for a human? The answers lie along that timeline of our evolution. So, I don't know if it's appropriate for me to go into these philosophical, because these are just as much philosophical discussions as they are scientific. But it's the answer. It's the answer. It's why things immediately make sense to me when I hear them. Because I can go back in what I know about the history of life, and I can see how it could have progressed to this. I can't have conversations with the average Joe on the street. I get that deer in the headlights look after 5 minutes. But I could sit down with Kilts and talk for days about this because he's like-minded. I don't expect everybody to be like that. All right, enough of that. Papa Carnivore says Mitch would never block Rick. No, not in the world. I would not block Rick. Rick says Mitch is a real man. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Testosterone 929. Really? 929. How did that happen? Carnivore. No plants, no soy, no phytoestrogens. None of that crap that's turning boys into girls. 929. That, my friends, is what Carnivore does to you. It makes you the, sounds like a commercial, makes you the best you can be. Yes, sir. Where was I? Okay, I put some questions in the chat. I have really gone overboard today. That's a problem. I've got more to say than there ever is time to say it. It makes me either a genius or a blowhard. I'm happy with either. You decide. You decide. For me to try to catch up in the chat is going to be crazy, so I'm not going to read the chat. I'm going to start looking for the questions. It's already 9:15. I don't care if you go long. It's fine with me. As long as you're interested and hang around, we'll keep doing it. Want to thank Ketone Seekers sent 5 Old Guy Carnivore gift memberships. Thank you, Ketone Seeker. Thank you very much, very much. And I can roll back in the chat here and probably see who got the 5, but you may have seen it if you're watching the chat. It rolled by there, so that would be an exercise in scrolling. I think I'll forgo that today. And then also, it says here, Gary Noso has been a member of this community for 9 months. The private community, thank you. We had a great live stream last night. Ellen showed up. We had Ellen there. It was great. We had who else? CB came in. We had Tuka. We had oh God, if my memory fails me today, forgive me, people. But you were all important. We had Meetup, I believe, was there. Who else? Oh, Thomas. Yeah, Thomas came in. It was nice. We had a good time. I was very tired last night. Extremely tired. It was had a very busy day. Second live stream in the day. Recovering from the stroke does sap. I seem to use 10 times the energy I used to use. But I took a little nap, something I never used to do, but now I find I almost need to take a little nap. Lay down for maybe a half an hour. Normally I don't fall asleep, but I just rest. I probably overdo working on my recovery. Rest is so very important, and I think I'm probably too motivated to recover. And I've always thought, why rest when I can be doing something productive? I've always felt that way. And I'm having a hard time getting over that. Everybody's saying hi to everybody else. I am only 10 minutes in. Marcy B says, oh my goodness, Mitch, I forgot about the snack wolves. Yeah, what a boon that was to Nabisco. Looking for questions. So, looks like everybody's doing great this morning. Papa Carnivore said, yes, the Kilts live stream with Adrian Gledo veered into a discussion of our use of GLP-1, a microdose that has helped her. Yes, we can't avoid the GLP-1. Annette Bosworth, Dr. Boz, has been routinely prescribing that for quite a while now. My first thought was to just figure she'd gone off the deep end. Of course, that's what happens when you're opinionated. When you're opinionated, when you think you know the answer, you figured it out, and we all jump to our early conclusions about GLP-1. You tend to just make these kind of things and say, evidently she's a fool, not going to listen to her anymore. What? If you keep an open mind, like I try to do, over the months that followed, I started learning more and more about GLP-1, about what it is, about the fact that it's naturally occurring. You do more and more reading, more and more research. You learn about the doses. You learn about the fact that we don't need drugs if we're eating the right food because our body makes it. And then you start hearing about microdosing. And then you realize that it's like any other medication. Sometimes you need a little help. You don't need a tsunami of GLP-1, but maybe you have a deficiency in that particular system in the body that makes it. Maybe you need a little external. Type 1 diabetics need external insulin or they die. Well, it doesn't mean that everybody needs insulin injections. It means that they're different. They're just not making it. Well, it's possible that anything the body makes that we need, there can be a deficiency in the machinery that produces it. It's all genetically controlled and epigenetically controlled anyway. And it amazes me that in most people, it actually all works. It's so complicated. You'd wonder, how the hell can this even work? Let alone work for 70, 80, 90, 100 plus years. It's marvelous. So slowly I changed my opinion and kind of said, no, I guess these doctors are not fools. They're just basically doing what doctors are supposed to do. Not throwing drugs at everybody, trying to cure a few, like they do with statins. But selectively, when they think it's necessary, give it a shot, give it a try, experiment with it. So, wow, look at that huge orange blush that it came up here. Mitch from Homestead Hal, a super chat. Curry, good to see you here. Now, I know that's the real Homestead Hal, and I can tell because if I click on this and say go to channel, it goes to Curry's channel, Homestead Hal, 321,000 subscribers. So that's how you tell if it's the real Homestead Hal instantly if you're in the chat or watching somebody's live stream. Otherwise, it will go to somebody else's channel with some subtle but noticeable difference in the spelling, or even the same spelling, but it'll say Homestead Hal has been a member on YouTube since 2025 and has no subscribers. And you can say fraud, troll, and get rid of them. But this is indeed Curry. Good morning, Curry. How are you? I watched the replay of your live stream because, my friend, your live stream and my private community live stream happened to be on at 7 o'clock Eastern time on Thursday. And we all have the same audience anyway, and people get enough of both of us. So I don't think we need to change. It doesn't bother me. That's okay. But it says here, Rick's comments were hidden after he repeated information with a fake account impersonating me on his channel for weeks, asking for donations. Several confused reported it to YouTube. Rick can contact YouTube. So, Rick, evidently, because you were talking about, I still don't know exactly how it happened, but Curry's aware of the situation. I don't think he has anything against you, but he did. You were hidden from his channel, unfortunately. You can contact YouTube, and if necessary, he can contact YouTube, and they can unhide you. So, good luck with that. That's like trying to get customer service from the federal government. But I don't think it's anything personal. Curry, thanks so much for coming on here and telling us that you know about it. And I assume you have nothing against Rick. Rick's a great guy. Rick's been a carnivore for 42 years now. He is one of the real carnivores. Rick's been doing this and discovered on his own that this was the way to live 42 years ago, while the rest of us were still making spinach smoothies. So, good to see you, Curry. Good to see you, man. We need to get together, do another live stream here pretty soon. But that was very nice of you. I appreciate it very much. And what a surprise. What a surprise. What a surprise. Now, where was I? I was looking for questions here. This is the area where you were talking about chips. And I would have to agree that, yes, ducks are awesome. Look what you've done to us, Rick. Do you think there'd be this much talk about ducks without you? I think it's great. I think it's great. And like everything else, it really takes you a while in this arena of chats with so many names going by, and so many people, and so many comments, and some of them are just typing, and you don't know if you had listened to somebody say it, you could know more. You could gather more of the meaning. That's why I don't like communication by typing, because inflection in voice, facial expressions when you're talking, put everything in context, and so much of what we type is taken out of context and can piss you off when it was really a compliment because you read it wrong. Or even worse, Google voice typing decided it knew better what you said than what you said and changed it. And sometimes putting one letter in there can change the meaning of it completely. So it took me a while. But over the time of seeing you and being with you and watching you and having you as a guest, I got to know what you're about and who you are. And your knowledge of carnivore and your experience is tremendous. And I appreciate that. So I'm glad we both hung in there together with each other. And it's so easy to be quick on the trigger when you want to just get something or somebody out of your life. I never got that point with Rick. I liked Rick from the first time I saw him because we talked about old technology, and I said to myself, well, anybody that has old rotary telephones can't be all bad. But Rick is a valued member of this community as far as I'm concerned. And every time I hit that quack quack button, I'm paying homage to the man who brought that to this forum. Yes, sir. And I hope Rick enjoys that as much as I do. Any questions? Wow, it's already 9:30, but that's okay. We're having a good time. Here's the Ketone Seekers bought 5 Carnivore memberships. Wow, thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Terry Sue remembers keto cheese whiffs. Yeah, that's another thing about the food industry. You come up with any buzzword, any trend, They will figure out a way to get it on their food, whether it's keto or not. And there's no governing body out there that has made laws and rules about whether people can put the word keto on their product or not. There are rules about the words organic, pasture raised. You can buy, if you're a food company, the Heart Healthy logo for a fortune from the American Medical or the American Heart Association. They would gladly sell you those things. Whenever you see a lawyer advertise Newsweek's best lawyers, that is a badge that costs $1,200 a year, and any lawyer can buy it. Any lawyer. Even the worst lawyers, even shysters, even the guys that advertise on TV, they can all buy it. If they want to spend $1,200 a year, they can put it on their business cards, their stationery, in their ads, on their website. How do I know this, you ask? Well, in case you didn't ask, should. How does Mitch know this? How does Mitch know how much it costs? I'm not a lawyer, but I have lawyers as clients. I designed and maintained many of their websites. Many of those lawyers want to display the Newsweek Best 10 Lawyers of the Year thing, or best lawyers. Doesn't say best 10, it says best lawyers. And once a year, I get emails from them saying, we just purchased our new badge. Here is the link. You can go to download it, and here's a copy of our invoice. And I actually saw the invoices from Newsweek to this lawyer for $1,200, and a link to download it, which I downloaded, insert it, probably on their website, where they can claim to be one of the best lawyers. That's the way the world works, my friends. Don't believe. Believe almost nothing of what you hear out there. And we can't even believe what we see now with artificial intelligence creating videos. So elevate your skepticism to new levels. Lewis, thank Ketone Seeker. Very nice of you, Lewis. Very nice of you. I just want to read them all, but we don't have time for that. You guys do have a great time in here. I gotta say. Rick says, notice who never gets these gifts. I don't know if the YouTube algorithm got that much against you, Rick. But I'll tell you what I'll do if you want. Join my private community, will you? $4 a month. We'd love to have you in there. And I will mail you 4 $1 bills every month. How about that? Would you do that? We'd love to have you in the private community. I know it sounds a little snooty. It's not. Everybody does that. Everybody does that. Here's something, spiritual nomad. Brooke, how you doing, Brooke? Good morning to you. See, this old guy still remembers first names when I hear them often enough. And Brooke bore with me while I really committed her name to my memory. Question, Mitch, I recently switched it up to try Kroger delivery. I'm liking it. They have their own drivers and trucks. Really? I'll have to look into that. A lot of people drive. I don't know what they charge for that, though. I don't know what they charge. Wow, people have been buying me coffees. Wow. Let me thank everybody. Tanya, Kitchen Witch. Thank you so much for bought me a coffee. Mama Bear. Thank you, Nancy. Thank you. Mama Bear bought me 5 coffees. Wow, Mitch, thanks for all you do. And Patty, drink it if you got it. Bought me a coffee. Thank you. Thank you so much, everybody. It warms my heart. I appreciate that. Let's see. Question. Hey, here we go. G&E Cardinal. Road ship journeys. Can someone link to the Dr. Kilt's video with that gal? Well, people in the chat cannot post links. The chats will not accept. Otherwise, people would be spamming unmercifully the chats in these videos. The only people that uh, only people that can post links is me and moderators. So let me do this. Let me take a minute because we're over time already. Who cares? Let me search for kilts. See what comes up, and see if. Now this is searching across my channel. Let me go to. It's going to be hard for me to do here. Anyway, because I'm logged in on this YouTube, a different account than what I watched kilts. Otherwise, I could go right to history and jump right to it, but I don't want to do that now. Just go on YouTube, find Kilts' channel, and you'll see everything he's done is on there. And it's Robert Kiltz, K-A-L-T-Z, M-D is the name of his channel, and you'll find it. You'll find it. Yeah, Louis Straight can't put clickable links. And there's a real reason for that. It becomes a spammer and fraudster free-for-all. Everybody would be pitching their website, their YouTube channel, their product, and we wouldn't have a live stream with any kind of a decent back-and-forth discourse, for sure. Here's the one that said, Gary was a member for 9 months, and I cheered that. Okay, question, attention, Mitch, please link to the video. Yeah, you already, I saw that already. It would take me a few minutes to dig that out. Right now, I would have to open more browsers, go back into the account where I watched it and find it. It's easy for you to just find it. You can find anything on YouTube by just going into the search bar at the top of the YouTube window and typing in a few keywords and the name of the creator and the influencer, and then you'll find it. Still talking about Rick getting blocked. I'm up to almost 9 o'clock. Okay. And Jeff, thank you again for the coffees. Hi, fellow carnivores. Hello, Mitch, my man. Good to see you, man. Thank you very much. CB chimed in, giving us a good answer. Fiber equals cellulose. Cellulose is a long-chain carbohydrate molecule. So what does that tell you? When you eat fiber, you may as well think of your landscaping. That's why I joke sometimes and talk about eating the landscaping, because would you do that? And who was it that decreed that this particular piece of landscaping is a vegetable or should be part of a salad, yet this other piece of your landscaping will poison you quickly or make you break out in rashes? Who was it that was the final authority on which of that crap is a vegetable and edible and which isn't? We believe the dumbest things because that's what we've been told all our lives. And it's called education. What else are we supposed to believe? You got to believe something or you know nothing. Even if you're a person that figures things out, you got to have at least a foundation of reality to start, or every place you go is going to be wrong. Garbage in, garbage out. The fiber is like eating wood. That's what wood is made of, cellulose. It can not only do chemical damage, but it can do physical damage. It can scratch things up, create inflammation. It's rough. It creates so much inflammation in your colon. It probably is responsible for all of the diseases like inflammatory bowel diseases, irritable bowel syndrome, the IBS, Crohn's, ulcerative colitis. More people have reversed those by not eating fiber than following the doctor's orders about eating more fiber. That's great for the doctors, but not much good for the patient. Doctor gets a lot of business when somebody's digestive tract gets so screwed up they got to consider having their colon removed. They foam at the mouth for that stuff. Salivate. No Slow sent 5 gift memberships. Thank you, Gary. Thank you so much. Let's see who got them. I can see that now. Jackie W. got a gift membership. And B. And that's something. You better be at our Thursday night, Ann B. Better be there. MSO received a gift membership. Brian Abbott-Recht received a gift membership. And Troy Campbell. Thank you so much. That's great. Great. We hope to see some new faces in there on Thursday night. And where's the bed? I don't know who wears the bed. He says, come on, people. Bacon baby, he can't see it. Oh, you're still talking about Rick. You're talking about Rick's little chat problems. Rick's still number 1. I'm down to the bottom of the chat over there, not nowhere near here. Still looking for questions. Scrolling fast. In case you, I'll show you what my monitor right in front of me looks like. Over there on the left is the actual real-time chat. I can see that. This is my StreamYard window where I control all the things that determine this broadcast. This here, where I'm scrolling up and down, is a chat that I look at and can click on it. So here's one from Marcy Me. If I click on this, you'll see it comes up across the bottom of your screen. Okay? And that's the one I go through when I say I'm half an hour behind, I'm 45 minutes. I'm trying to, because that's where I can put it on the screen. Now, I know that the chats on this side are on the screen, but I can't leave something up there. I know there's a way that I can probably load some third-party software that will allow me to, when I click this, display it on the screen. But this way works good for me because I can keep an eye on both the current chat with a glance. I see Ellen is here with us. Good to see you, Ellen. I'm glad to see you here this morning. It was nice to see you last night. And I can go back more leisurely and make sure I don't miss any questions that would have scrolled on by very rapidly on the left. And what happens when you get a lot of people? Now, we've got 121 people here. Imagine if, like Curry had 300 people on his stream last night. So you'd have 3 times as many chat entries. It'd be going 3 times faster. It's very hard for us to keep up with that. A lot of the discussion today is, and rightly so, is about what happened to Rick getting blocked. And Peter wants to rub it in by saying, where's Rick? I hope he's not blocked on this channel. LOL. Wow, at the wide range of things you guys are talking about. I can't. I tend to stop to read them. Here, I saw some cues flash out. Tristan, good morning. Tristan says, "Do they sell the Sam's frozen patties in your video at Walmart too?" I haven't been in Walmart for a while. I never looked for the frozen patties, so I can't tell you. You can look on their website though, and find out if they have an equivalent to it, because Sam's is Walmart, same company, but they a lot of times they don't have the same things. Walmart sells Nellie's eggs, for example, but Sam's Club doesn't. So Sam's has their own pasture-raised house brand, which I think are pretty legitimate eggs. I've been eating them for a long time. I think they're the best eggs that I can actually buy on a regular and consistent basis without having to go on a hunt every day from farm to farm. And what would be, even if I had a farm somewhat near me where I could go and buy eggs. Kitchen Witch, hey Tanya, how are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. You're still talking a lot about Rick's problems. I'm sure I'll chime in on your live stream tomorrow morning for a short time, Rick, and I'm sure that will dominate. Sandy Bond says, Mitch, you also went to lunch. Oh, yeah, when I was busy talking about everything, I went to lunch with my son last night. It was yesterday afternoon, rather. It was great. And really enjoyed it. I always have a good time with him. It was very nice. I ate like a pig. He didn't eat much. I think I told you this at one point, maybe last night, but there wasn't any left when we left. And it was the one, I only ate one meal yesterday because I ate like a pig at lunch. I brisket and smoked chicken wings, not fried, but smoked. Got a little seasoning. Probably was a little sugar in the rub on the brisket, but I don't sweat the small stuff. We're still talking about Rick, where's the beef says, can you confirm, or was it a misunderstanding? Curry kind of gave me a super chat and told what happened, and I don't know if it's kind of out of his hands, but somebody got YouTube involved, and it's just best, at least from my end, to not deal with these things. And I would tend to, anybody that came in, and whether it was a joke or whether it was a good guy or not, but anybody impersonating anybody else, I find out about it, I'm going to hide them from the channel. Could I have made a mistake and hidden the real one? It's possible, but you just don't have time to put up with that nonsense when you're trying to do these live streams and deal with so many people with so much to say. You can't spend time fooling around with people that are there just to make trouble, or even if they're there just to make jokes. If they're impersonating somebody else's name, the minute you find out about it, you have to just hide them. Let them talk to themselves. They'll go away eventually. Where's the beef says, what's funny is it will almost certainly come out that GLP-1 causes harm in the future, just like all weight loss drugs. I fully expect that to happen. Where's the beef? I fully expect that to happen. Those kind of things generally take 5 years. The GLP-1 drugs have been out for a long time, but they haven't been marketed that aggressively or in the dosages since the weight loss crowd. They originally were released as a diabetes medicine, not a weight loss. That's what happens. It's like Rogaine that grows hair. It wasn't invented or released as a hair growing thing. It was released for some other medical purpose, and they happen to notice that the people that were using it started to regrow hair. Well, you let a drug company see that their drug accidentally caused this other thing, and this other thing is 1,000 times bigger market than the thing they invented it for. You bet your booties. The next thing you know, you got a hair loss drug. Well, that's what happened with Ozempic. They noticed as a side effect, people were losing weight. It was supposed to be treating diabetes. In fact, you couldn't even get it if you weren't a diabetic for the longest time. But they found that, look, people were losing weight. Well, where is there more money? In a weight loss drug or a diabetes drug? Well, duh. And now we have dancing fat people in commercials, and it's the new thing, and the celebrities are endorsing it, and Oprah's on the bandwagon, and away we go. Weight Watchers decides they're going to become a dispenser of Ozempic now. The hell with this stupid point system that doesn't work. People are opportunists. Opportunism, business opportunism, is responsible for most fraud, deceit, and the problems we have in this world. People are opportunistic. And yes, they're somewhere in that 3 billion year path of evolution from Luca to us. At one point, being opportunistic must have been, or given the animal, a survival advantage, and it was passed on. And we still have it in us today. So you can't take that out of humans. You could say, well, that's bad. That's bad. How many people are telling you that sex is bad in this world? How many people have their whole entire society based on the fact that sex is evil? And that the foods that cause sexual thoughts are evil. That's how our problem happened. Meat was demonized because it caused sexual thoughts in men. Without sexual thoughts, there is no life, intelligent life. There would be no humans. If we were motivated to have sex, that's reproduction. One of the basic, main survival instincts, the urge to merge. In my book, I entitled the chapter on that, The Urge to Merge. Without that, we'd be extinct. We would have been extinct long ago, or we would still be up in the trees eating bananas. Again, just that one sentence goes against so many people's beliefs. And I try not to go there, but to me, that's my reality. At any rate, yeah, the GLP-1 drugs will serve, I believe, in time, at the high doses, will cause harm. And eventually, I believe that the weight loss, high-dose versions of them may be taken off the market. But low and microdose versions of that drug, I think, still have a place in diabetes treatment and other things. Peter marveled at my testosterone level. Yes, and I have receipts for that. I actually have the paperwork that says that. I didn't make that number up. And it went a year ago, or in December a year ago, it was 600 something. And in the following year, being pure carnivore, it went up another 300 points. As did my cholesterol level too. They are related, since testosterone is made from cholesterol. Without the cholesterol, there is no testosterone. Duh. Think about it. Think about it. All these men on statins, artificially lowering their cholesterol. Body's got a pathway somewhere that's responsible for taking the precursor of testosterone and producing, precursor of cholesterol and producing testosterone. Just go into that little factory where that's happening and look at the storage shelves of the raw materials, and you find all the shelves are empty. We don't have enough cholesterol. Well, why is that? Because this fool doctor prescribed a statin to this guy. Because they think he's got too much cholesterol, and we here in the trenches can't make testosterone anymore. What are we going to do? We're going to get sick. That's what we're going to do. Turn into a girl. That's what we're going to do. And that's what happens. And that is reality. That's what they call critical thinking. Oh, well, wow. Oh, it's almost 10 o'clock. I'm still behind. My phone is beeping. But it's been I've had a great time today. I think it's been a good stream. I think it's been, got to get a little intellectual on you, a little controversial. Still, I got to tell you, so much of this chat has been revolving around Rick's problem with Curry's channel. Wow. That's why it's taken me so long to get through this. Here it was at 9:30. We're still talking about it. Aaron, maybe Rick will block figure. Yeah. Something that started out just having fun and created all this noise. And Ellen says YouTube didn't block Rick. Curry hid his comments from his live stream. And if he did, if you had any idea, Rick, what he would have to go through to unblock it, because like me, he has probably blocked thousands and thousands of people over the course of his career, because there are just that many people who deserve to be blocked. I probably have blocked not 1,000, maybe 500 people. Believe it or not, I've had that many obnoxious, sick people leave comments on my videos, or not so much in the chats, but in the comments on the video. And to find that one in those 500, because YouTube only displays them like 10 at a time. And you have to keep paging through, and you have to know exactly what their name was. And I've tried to find one and unblock somebody. I couldn't. I tried for hours to find it. I could not find it and unblock it. So good luck. It's a shame. But I think Curry may have to do that. If he's done it. I don't know if contacting YouTube would really do you any good. And doesn't matter that much to you anyway. Somehow I don't think it does. Still talking about it. No, I gotta really scroll through all this. This is probably one of the largest chats I've ever seen in one of my live streams. Let's see, for fun. Let's just take a look here. Top fans today. We have up here at the top, it's Rick, number 1. Terry Sue, number 2. Papa Carnivore, number 3. Followed by Bacon Baby, Graceful Willie, No Slow, Lacey's World, Meetitudes, Pond Apple, which is Kathy, Florida, Furrow Grandma. That's the top 10 today. For those of you race fans. I need coffee, even if it's decaf. Good, still hot. Thank you, Francine Bourgeois, for that coffee warmer. It's the gift that keeps on giving, I'm telling you. Here's where Gary gifted 5 memberships. This is great, thank you. We picked up 10 new members today. I hope at least one of them decides to stick. BMAT says, Mitch, I tried buy me a coffee at work this morning. Enjoyed. Did you indeed buy me one? Yes. Now I know your name. It's BMAT is Brian. I won't tell you your last name on here, but I see where the BMAT comes from. Bought me 3 coffees. Hopefully it works. Yes, it did. So should I call you Matt or should I call you Brian? I never knew your first name. Or would you rather be not? You let me know. But thank you so much, Brian. That was very, very nice of you. And yes, it did work. And I'm glad it did because I really hate it when somebody says, yeah, they charge me for it and I don't get the coffees. Fortunately, that doesn't happen very often. I'm surprised any of it works. It's so complicated. So I had Gary up there on the screen. Let's get that off of there. I tend to forget those things. And here's some good advice. Meetitudes, let's move on from the blocking conversation. What's for breakfast today? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Toramir asks us, how are you, boss? Thanks for having me last night. Sorry if I missed your reply. I was distracted. No, thank you, Tuga. Always a pleasure. Tuga was the first one in. Ellen is chatting away this morning. Great to see you here, Ellen. Great to see you. I think we need to convince Ellen she needs to come on some Sunday, and we can talk about old times. And B, thanks for the gifted membership, Gary. Isn't that nice? Where's the beef says? Rick and Mitch are fun at parties, the others not so much. I suppose that's a compliment for me and Rick. I don't know how the rest of you feel about that. What a crowd, what a crowd. What Rodney Dangerfield used to say. What a crowd, what a crowd. Then he'd start. Ed DLC is here. Ed from Delaware. How you doing, Ed? Good to see you. I sometimes get frozen patties at Costco too. Yeah, if a frozen hamburger patty is clean, if the ingredients are just beef or beef and salt, any kind of beef, doesn't matter. They're probably okay. They're probably good. They may not be better than the freshest Wagyu burger, but they're going to be good. Give me 1 second. I did do that on camera, but I don't know what else to do. I could have said be back in a minute, but no. We're informal here. Peter's still talking about it. Leif Curry, when he said he did it black, he did. Oh, probably. Oh, you're using voice typing and typed it wrong. Didn't block or hide Rick, and that it was someone else who reported Rick to YouTube. That's possible. That's possible. I know Curry very well, and he's always been on me. Yeah, it's possible that happened because you report something to YouTube, you can start all kinds of nonsense. So, reporting something to YouTube, as insignificant as that, is like calling the police for somebody who is wearing a hat you don't like. You start an avalanche of grief for the person for no reason at all. Do not report anything to YouTube unless it affects you personally. And usually, it's a scam to take money from you. It's a question from Jackie. Hi, Jackie. For the last 3 weeks, I've had a twinge of a calf Charlie horse by weight consisting, I think, probably 2 to 3 packets of Elman a day. Any guess what's happening? Well, Elman doesn't have the highest doses or the highest level of electrolytes. It's either magnesium, most likely, maybe potassium. You might try to get yourself a little small dose of magnesium, maybe magnesium glycinate, and cut back to less element because it's very expensive, and try taking 400 milligrams of a magnesium glycinate. Now, I'm not giving you medical advice because this is not medicine. They consider it supplements. They consider as food. So I can tell you that you may be a little short of magnesium. There may not be that much magnesium in element. and not enough to keep you from getting any cramps. Could be something else that's causing cramps. But you can experiment by changing one thing. And then if things get better, you know that more than likely it was the one thing you changed. If you change 10 things, how are you going to know what worked? But I would add a little more magnesium in the form of glycinate, because when the magnesium citrate is different. That will act like a laxative. The glycinate, I believe, you might look this up because they have malate, glycinate, citrate, all the eights, and see which one is best for cramps. I think it's glycinate, but that would be basically just dug out of my memory, which I won't guarantee. Something I read a year or two ago, I got it exactly correct at that level. So try that, see what happens. Still talking, wow, 9:50. I'm 15 minutes behind here. Still talking about, and you're still here. 116 of you are hanging in here with me. And I know I'm holding up Thomas. Thomas is probably chomping at the bit saying, come on, Mitch, talk too much. Let's get on with it. Tuka says I need to turn this into a dating channel now. Well, something happened in the chat that I didn't know about? People making dates now? We're still talking about the Rick and Curry debacle. I'm looking for questions, but still can't help glance at the subject matter being discussed. No, so who doesn't like drama? Absolutely. Drama. People love to watch drama as long as it's somebody else's drama. And they feel good about themselves because that drama isn't their drama. People love to watch everybody else's. That's why some of the biggest major classification of movies you go see are dramas. They have comedies, they have suspense, mysteries, and drama. I think drama might be the biggest. So yeah, drama sells. Smoothie says, I don't make videos, and I got hundreds of YouTubers blocked. Yeah, there's a bunch of real flaming A's out there, aren't there? That's how those people get that's what gives them pleasure. Makes them feel better about themselves to just down everybody else. They're mean, miserable, small-minded little insects, and you can't address them, you can't debate them, you end up playing whack-a-mole. You just have to avoid them and get them out of your life however you can. Same thing comes with drivers on the road. You're out driving and you got some asswipe that just gets mad at you for some reason, even though you did nothing. He thinks you did something. He's coming up on your rear at 100 miles an hour. He runs right up to you and jams on his brakes and then tells you that you pulled and you cut him off. And he'll hound you and follow you all the way home if you let him. Just avoid them. Say, get out of my life. I don't want to be involved with you in any way. I've had to with some of these people over the course of my lifetime. I just get off, have a cup of coffee at a gas station. Let them get far enough away from me where I'll never have to deal with them again and they get back on the road. I don't want to play with them for the next 200 miles. We've all been there. You try to be courteous and nice, and he's always one of these people. Got to go 120 miles an hour. You're in his way, and you did something to him. You cut him off. Yeah. He was a mile behind you when you pulled over the lane that he was in, but he'll come running up on you. I had one of them on the way home from the dentist yesterday, honest to God. And he finally passed me about 100 some miles an hour. I just, until I couldn't see him anymore, I just slowed down a little bit. Get out of my life. Discretion, certainly in that case, is the better part of value. You don't want to get involved with these sick people. They're the people who will pull a gun on you and shoot you while you're driving your car. And they are those people, believe me. Now, I carry a gun in my car, but that's not why. Not to chase down people and threaten them, because I perceived that they've done me some wrong, and they call that having a chip on your shoulder. Times 10. Those people are out there. I used to confront them. I used to ruffle my feathers, and I have to prove that what an idiot they were, and they were wrong. I've learned and mellowed as I've gotten older. It is not worth doing something that could ruin the rest of your life to get even with some fool because he's stupid. It took me longer than it should have to learn that lesson, but luckily I never did anything that was enough to get me thrown in jail for life, like shooting somebody from a moving car. Gemma says, Mitch, when you cook, I see you cook, but lips not moving, but hear you. It's easy for you that way. Yeah, it really is. Yeah, I do a voiceover. Unless I actually say something, I try not to talk, because what happens is so much of that cooking, I want to edit out. I want to edit it out. You know, sit and wait for something to cook in 10 minutes. I don't want you to have to sit there for 10 minutes. And if I happen to be talking, there may be something valuable that I wanted in the video that I might have said. So with that, you end up having to watch nothing happen. I'd rather be able to edit the video down to where I've gotten rid of everything that I think is too time-consuming, superfluous, or boring, and then come in and narrate it over the top. And if I had said something in the video, usually at the end, like take the rest of the day off, then I'll leave the sound in there from when the video was live. But usually when the video is live like that, the noise of the air fryers and the range is obtrusive. So it's much better to make them that way. Or I'm the best damn ventriloquist that you've ever seen. You think that this guy's got anything on me? No. Yeah. I'm never going to get to the end of this chat. 10 o'clock, 12 minutes behind. I'm just going to run real quick because we got to get out of here. And Thomas can come on. And the morning lineup can continue. There it is. I did it. The last chat I see is Jim. It says, Mitch, thanks for answering. It's voiceover. I like your lips moving. Oh, I do so many live streams, and I promise you, on the live streams, unless YouTube or the internet slows me down, my lips will usually be moving in tune with what I'm saying. All right, my friends, it's been fun, been great. I'm going to have a morning off tomorrow morning. I'll probably pop into Rick's. I'll see you tomorrow morning. Thank you all for coming. Aunt B says, Mitch, thank you for being here always. You're very welcome. If I can be here, if I'm physically able to do this, I'm going to keep doing this. I love it. You guys are great. You're the friend. This community basically makes up the friends that I have in this world now. All my personal friends are gone. Hell of a commentary. Every friend I ever had, whether they were 30 or 50-year friends, 10-year friends, people that I considered friends. I have neighbors now, and I have some great neighbors, but they're not really friends. They're all gone. So I better keep you guys happy because you, other than my kids, you're all I got right now. And I appreciate it. And I never want you to forget how much it means to me. And how much it means to me. And I try the best I can to be informative, try to be right whenever I can. Sometimes I may not get everything exactly right, but I think in principle and theory, I'm usually pretty close. And I try to be entertaining to the extent that you could be entertaining on a carnivore live stream. So thank you again. Thank you again. And little wrong button, but appropriate nonetheless. Both of those buttons are blue. The crack button and the music button, and they're in the same place on the 6-button layout, but they're in different banks. So if I forget to switch the banks, and I think I'm playing the happy music, it goes quack, which is okay with me. Say goodbye to everybody in the chat. Say goodbye to your friends. I don't have a video to be released today. I will probably make something or do something today and release it tomorrow. I'll see you Sunday morning with Wendy, the Furl Grandma's going to be a guest, going to visit me, and we'll all get to meet her. So thank you so much for coming today. Thank you so much. Rick says, enjoy your day off, Mitch. Aaron says, Booby Goat says, bye, friends. Bacon Baby, Lewis and Thomas have a great meetup. Yeah, the guys are going to Boston. Have a great time, man. Be careful. Be careful. Andy says, Mitch, make the quack, then the happy music dance out. Yes, we could do that. Carnivore, Jerry, good to see you. How are you? I saw you in the chat in Kilsey's channel. Yeah, I recognize the name. Good to see you. Says bye all. Rick loves the quacks. Rick can't get enough of the quacks. I'm surprised Rick doesn't get a quack sound effect to use in his live stream. And Emperor Hirohito says hello. Some people are a little late to the party, but listen, for the rest of you and Emperor Hirohito, thanks so much. Thanks so much for coming. Had a great time. I will see you Sunday morning. And in the meantime, take the rest of the day off and eat beet.